A scratch out of race 7. Take out the 1, Varangian. Race 7, scratch the 1, Varangian. Race number 8, scratch the 3, Durkin's Call. And the number 8, Batter Batter Swing. Race 8, scratch the 3, Durkin's Call. And the 8, Batter Batter Swing. And in race number 9, scratch the 1, Decreed. Scratch the 3, Devil on the Loose. And overweight for the number 7, Wish for Magic. Make her 1 pound over. 1 pound over on the 7. Scratch the 1 and 3 out of the finale, race number 9. A muddy main track. The turf's good for race 4. The featured plenty of grace with the start of a mandatory payout every day here at Aqueduct in the Empire 6. First post today is 120 for the 9-race card. We'll be back with a reprise of the scratches and changes at around 12:50. Up next, the one and only Andy Serling joins me for the Sunday edition of Talking Horses.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Big A, Anthony Stabile.
What up?
Well, you're all dressed up to call the races today.
This is what we
I
do.
thought maybe you'd be wearing a tank top and shorts or
We
something.
respect the booth, my friend. I woke up with some allergies. It was warm.
No.
You got to respect the
Woe
booth,
is
man.
you.
We respect the booth. That's what we do. Not that we
You'll
don't
be
respect the
changing
set.
out of that outfit the second you leave this all. Who are you lying to? Don't lie to them. Your fans.
I have a change of outfit upstairs if it gets too warm, but other than that, I will stay in this. You could ask Ryan Martin-Naira. I besmirched Ryan Martin-Naira's favorite horse yesterday by my standards, and he got me good yesterday in the Oakland Mile.
He could have been a terrible beat if one of your friends, if you had any respect for me. Anyhow, nice Sunday of racing. We do have a little bit of rain. We're muddy. We're good. We are on the turf for the fourth race. The Plenty of Grace, right?
The Plenty of Grace.
It's hard to keep track of all the Jimmy Toner.
The only
thoroughbred
thoroughbred stakes being run in the United States today.
Is that right?
How about that?
Wow, it's pretty exciting. Let's head over to Naira Bets first.
Let's.
And then we'll discuss yesterday briefly. If you're not a member, sign up. Keep the money in the game. Support racing in New York. Play through Naira Bets. Match 200. Match for $200 of your initial deposit. 50-50-50 today. Bet at least 50 on each of those 3 tracks or more, and you'll get $15 back. At the end of the day, want to also let people know that the races are on FS2 all day long today. That's why we don't have a slate. It was a late change. We will be on from 1 to 6:30 today. All on FS2, the usual crew. Be heading up there right after the show. Very quickly, before we get into the first race, any thoughts on the Arkansas Derby?
Not really. I know the Asmussen barn was very high on this, on the winner Superstock. Got the
They shouldn't be too high on it.
Going in, he got the right setup.
You think?
Well, I do. I think he got the right setup. Caddo River, the connections lived up to their promise that he was going to make the lead. Concert Tour, I was never really a big fan of. I think kind of showed that he has some distance limitations, and they both look like you said on Twitter, they both look like they need to lead types now. One of them got it, one of them didn't. They stayed on for second and third, but that was probably more of a function of what was behind them as opposed to them actually wanting to.
And in front of them.
and in front, I mean, yeah, it could very well be and in front of. Listen,
right. Had it been a strong field, they could have finished 4th and 5th,
Who knows?
3rd and 4th. Right? It got a 92 buyer. To put into perspective, and he's an exciting prospect. The run happy following C for Bob Baffert broke his maiden, got a 97 buyer. So he was the actual star, and I don't mean that I mean
King Fury won the Lexington at Keeneland.
Right, he got the same buyer.
And he got the same buyer as Stage Raider. They have to justify. So
that was a muddy track. So I don't,
right.
on any of them, you don't want to get carried away. At least in the fast track, but. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
But when you have a maiden running the same figure as your stakes winner,
it puts you in perspective.
Yeah, it puts you in perspective.
Yeah,
right.
It's funny when these Triple Crown preps started, through I would say at least like into the second round, it seemed like form held up. The good
very logical. Everything was very logical,
and nobody showed up. And then suddenly Louisiana Derby form kind of fell apart. Not Hot Rod Charlie, obviously legit, but other horses fell.
Midnight Bourbon was the only one who kind of showed up in all 3 races.
Absolutely, and now we've seen repeatedly. We've seen the form not holding up as much in some of these races, and obviously it sort of solidifies Essential Quality as a likely favorite over, I would guess, the Santa Anita Derby winner.
It's amazing how a month ago, Steve Asmussen on the border with Midnight Bourbon. Todd Pletcher has nothing. They now have 30% of the field.
Yeah, and 30%. 4 of 20, it's 20%.
And Todd has 4 and Steve has 2.
Oh, the two
combined
of them,
have 30% of the field.
And it's funny, the field went down to like 5-1 after Known Agenda won, or 5 or 7 to 5-1, which seemed stupid because obviously he's not a 5-1 shot in the Derby. Not that he can't win, but I guess the field probably also includes Rock Your World, right? He's got to be in the.
I'm not sure.
In that field, why would he have? How could he have been in it with no Derby points? That was the reason Known Agenda was in the field.
Yeah, probably
so now
not.
You've got 2 horses that are going to be in the top 4 choices probably. So it's kind of interesting.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll see how.
Rock Your World hadn't seen a dirt race until Santa Anita Derby. He's in all likelihood after yesterday going to be the second choice in the Kentucky Derby.
Maybe if Bob Baffert hadn't unnecessarily criticized Aqueduct, he wouldn't have had bad karma.
What do you think Essential Quality is going to be? 3-1?
I don't know. I'm not a morning line maker, but I would like to talk about today's card.
Okay.
So let's talk about today's first race. We both guessed, I assume, with the same horse, the 5. Go ahead.
A little bit of a guess. Half Destructor, who of course was undefeated as a 2-year-old
But
on
Chad
the
always
turf.
wanted to run him on the dirt.
He did.
He always talked about it. Obviously had an issue. He came back, didn't run well as a 4-year-old, never ran as a 3-year-old. But he always wanted to run that horse in the dirt.
Had the issue that he was actually being pointed for the Fountain of Youth before he got hurt last year.
Yep.
And then everything got delayed anyway because of COVID-19. But he gets this horse on the dirt first time out. She's by Malibu Moon, so you would imagine that...
We're guessing with the first time start, Chad Brown, that'll probably run. None of the others have done much running. I know there was a chance that you would put the 4 on top because of your mad love for Bill Mott. Bill Mott has apparently been replaced by Chad Brown. Does Bill know? Would you break it to him gently, or am I doing it right now in the show? Let's take a look at that horse's last race.
There's enough love in this heart, Andy, for both of them.
There's a lot of love in that heart, no doubt about it.
The body, forget about it. We're loving it for the whole colony.
It's hard for me to be overly enthusiastic with anybody coming out of this race. This is a very strange private purchase. What about this horse's last race? I hope they didn't get a big rag number because he was wide the whole way like every horse always is at Tampa Bay. This seems like a very strange private purchase to me.
Wouldn't have been too surprising to be wide from post 10 of 11.
But they always are at Tampa. Like the rail is the 4-path there. Like the riders, if you're inside the 4-path, they consider you like
horse that doesn't have a ton of pedigree. Horse that doesn't have a ton of pedigree. I'll say this:
you love those field commissions. Stop lying.
The barn that he comes from was winning at a pretty good clip.
Right.
The firsters don't really fire from the barn, so maybe they're looking at, well, this horse ran first time out.
It was 5-1, Anthony, so he's expected to run.
I know.
So don't give me that.
I like the fact that he's making the barn change. I like the fact that she went 6.5 furlongs, and now she goes 6. So. She was tight enough to go 6.5 furlongs and run okay first time out. Listen, like you said, none of them have really done a lot of running. I would imagine there's more room for improvement with her over some of the others that have run, and they wouldn't have to improve as much as she would.
As far as the 3 as it should be, some clown on Twitter was suggesting that I actually hadn't watched the race he was in the last time. I was kind of insulted by that.
I can't bet you can't bet on that. That's awful.
Especially the comment is off slow, check 7/16. And this horse had a little bit of trouble. And yes, the rider gave him a ridiculous ride. He was also 33-1 in that race. So
was it suggested that this horse was going to win today off of that race?
That I missed it because I didn't pay attention. The interesting horse in here you have left off. And that's the number 2, Venus Uzo, who, while she was entering the maiden claiming race and rightfully scratched, they would have lined up to claim her. She was wide against a gold rail last time. She's got dirt races that are good, and I'm going to use her as well. I don't think she's going to be 9-2. I think you're going to get a generous price on her. It's hard to see a Randy Persaud maiden special be a short price in this race. We shall see. Race number 2, there was a scratch out of this race of the 6, Brush Country. We'll take a look at Justin Front, who in some ways is the horse to beat off his last race, and maybe he is. I'll tell you something. For me, I bet him last time. You know me. I got the money last time at 4-1 in a softer spot. I'm not coming back, not that any killers near, and taking this horse at a shorter price. I just rarely ever do that.
I don't think you're supposed to. He caught a weak bunch last time. He got a good setup and was never far from the lead and took over halfway through the 6 furlong event, and that was pretty much it. Coast home. The horse that was closest to him last time scratched out of here today. He had Macho Jack in there. Macho Jack couldn't sniff him last time.
Macho Jack will probably run better today. He can't run worse. I didn't like him last time either. You did. Maybe some moisture in the track will help him. We'll see if that's the case. What do you like about Eagle Pass?
Well, Eagle Pass is a horse that when he was on the circuit, some of his wet track races were just unbelievable on
this was a wet track?
You remember he won a bunch of those off the turf races with the big wins?
When it rains, when you get to do the wet track thing? Yeah.
He's just a little bit of a fresh face who I know it's been out of town, but I mean,
I don't trust his form at Penn National.
I don't either, but he's had to have been running against better because we know at the very least what he's running against here.
Not really, but he had run well here in the past, and that was a factor for me as he switches to Ray Handel. I thought it was interesting coming to Ray and a new face and a Grace where I just didn't really love anybody. I'm much more scared of Skylar Scramjet than you are. I mean, why wouldn't you have Skylar Scramjet in your top 4 being that it's now a 5-horse field? No. And I know you have to have Taylor Mist, even though he's slow, in the top 3 every time he runs. It's like a contract.
I don't trust him, Andy. He just doesn't show up.
How do you run the slop 2-back?
He ran great.
If he runs that race, how's he going to do here?
He's going to run well.
And you don't have him. You have him last in a 5-horse field. And you're Mr. Wet Track.
This
horse has Anthony Stabile written all over.
I don't trust him anymore. And maybe he shows up Maybe he shows up, but he's going to be a.
He was
he's the
bad
kind of
last
horse.
time, I
yeah,
agree.
he's a short price horse. That's just he's not
I don't trust
trustworthy
him either.
anymore.
I don't disagree, but I think you're supposed to. Taylor Mystic isn't going to win the race. He can win this race.
Okay.
Race number 3. Race number 3. So we got a reclaim of Dynamaxx Prime, who will show winning 2 races back for Jeff Englehart. The problem with this horse is he never ran well for Rob Atras when he claimed him. And I was very surprised to see him go back in. And it was for Robert Bone both times.
Well, hold on. This horse 2 years ago ran fine for Rob Atras.
I'm saying when he claimed him, though, recently.
The last
he ran
time around,
terribly.
yeah, he was
I
awful.
was very surprised to see Rob dip back in for him.
Well,
and
yeah,
the same
recently.
owner, too. Because it's like, I mean, in a lot of ways, oddly enough, I think that's a positive sign. Because it says I did something wrong or something was going on and it's better now or blah, blah, blah. I don't trust him. I don't love him. I thought the race was all 3 and 5. I know you haven't picked an Eddie Barker horse in a while, and you're afraid that
I just
he won't
wanted a
talk to you
price.
again.
Listen, I just
You had to
wanted
pick him
I
again.
just wanted a price against a horse that has a puncher's chance against the 2 logical horses.
It's not impossible.
I'll use the 3, 5, and 7.
This is an
and
Eddie
that was
suck-up.
it.
Just admit it. It's an Eddie suck-up.
Not at all. Not at all.
He was on the rail last time on a gold rail, and he still didn't do much.
I like the rider change to Trevor.
It's an Eddie suck-up. Just
It's
admit it.
not.
Admit
It's
it.
just
It'll make you
it's
feel
taking
better.
it's
It'll be
taking
cleansing.
it's taking a horse at a price against the logical horses and against 8 claimers.
He's not. I'm teasing you. You're absolutely right. He's got figures.
I'll tell you who I've seen enough of. I've seen enough of Playwright.
Well, you know I have too. I gave you that speech last time he ran.
These are the day Playwright wins because I'm not wasting any more money on this horse. I've seen enough.
I haven't wasted any on him. As you know.
Well, congratulations, but this is the day Playwright wins and pays $920. This is what they do to me.
I'm going to say that my greatest disappointment in my good friend David Aragona is that he picked this horse last time.
Listen, that was the same kind of race, Andy.
A little bit of respect for you picking him last time. I did.
I think he's the kind of horse where you have your own personal relationship with Playwright. At some point, everybody will get fed up. I happen to get fed up.
I've never taken a tough beat with Playwright. I've never really had anything.
And you know how hard that was for my man Wayne Potts? Huh.
That must have been hard. Yeah. Picked Eddie Barker over Wayne Potts. I guess you had to show Eddie that you still love him and you know him longer than Wayne. You moved in. If Max Revolution hadn't been on the rail last time, if he had been 3 wide, I would have picked him.
Fair enough.
But I just wish he hadn't been on the rail. That was my biggest problem. As far as Frankie Barone, you know I've bet him. He didn't run great in a wet track 2 back. One doesn't equal the other. But he did have a good trip 2 back when I bet him, and he backed up badly in that race. Maybe it was too fast. Obviously, one of his last. The problem with Frankie Barone for me is I played him at prices.
And now he's going to be 5-2.
Going to be 5-2 to 7-2 somewhere there. I don't need him at a short price. I missed my chances. I'm like Salazzo. I missed my chances with Frank Barone. I tried to watch the redone Godfather 3 it was on Showtime last night, but it started
we don't
too
talk about
close
that one.
it started too close. Bridget Fonda.
Like Rocky V.
It started too close to Saturday Night Live, and I watched the beginning.
Yeah, I can't do it.
No.
You're a better person.
I watched it the day it came out on Christmas Day.
The Saga is what you need to watch.
I've done that.
They recut it. That's fantastic.
So
Some missing
race
scenes.
number 4, the Plenty of Grace.
Yes.
She was such a good horse. All of those Jimmy Toner, Phillips horses, some of them John Veach trained. If you go way back. Jimmy played Plenty of Grace, or did John train Plenty of Grace?
No, that was
Jimmy?
I believe that was Jimmy.
It's close,
I believe
right?
that was Jimmy. Yeah, I think
Jimmy's not here, right? Did Jimmy move his horse to Kentucky?
Maryland. Maryland, I think.
No, I miss him already.
You know what I think? I think. Wow, my mind. Who do we say? Jimmy trained her.
I'm not sure.
And who had? I think.
Members of Silver was Jimmy.
Yeah, I think Jimmy trained her and
John and Graceful Darby. I believe Graceful Darby.
John trained the mother.
I think Graceful Darby ran in Personal Ensign's maiden race. How's that?
Wow.
I think that is correct. So we're on the turf, got a little rain, but I think you kind of knew that this race was going to likely stay in the turf unless some unpredicted monsoon came in when Flash and Dynamite didn't scratch yesterday.
Correct.
Because she would have been super short today, and they must have told her, we're not coming off tomorrow, and so they ran yesterday. This is a fun race, and we'll start with Regal Glory. I know she was sold in November.
Co-sales topper, by the way.
If she runs to her best races, she's going to win this race. I'm going to hope, though, the counterparty risk can improve. We'll get to her in a moment, but she's the worst to beat in here.
Yeah, and the one thing she does have is she has some form on horses with
this
give in the
course,
ground.
it was
This horse,
pouring
the
out
bog.
that day.
Yeah, look at it. You can see
I
the
bet the second
raindrops.
horse, by the way, your man Belmont.
Belmont, Mitchell Road, yeah. No, I bet her.
Still better. I was with Adam at his house. And,
You know I bet him. I bet Chad. So, yeah.
Does Bill know?
I think so.
Do you want to call him?
No,
We
it's
should
okay.
have like a group call with him. So no break him.
She has a lot of good wet track form, right? She
Wet turf.
wet turf. Yeah, she was part of the dead heat in Saratoga on the wet turf. And
My favorite thing about that race is all the people that were mad because Chad Brown ran the only 3-horse in the race. Shouldn't they have been mad at
that was a
trade?
different one. That was a different race.
Oh, that was
the
another-
Lake George.
Wasn't she-
the
was
Lake Placid? She was in the dead heat.
Right.
You're getting your lakes mixed up.
Oh, that was the non-dead heat when Varenka won.
Correct.
Right, and they couldn't see it because it was like, oh, that was how.
No, I thought
David
she
did.
won.
No, Varenka won. I think
you're wrong. I think she won. I think you're wrong.
I don't. I think Varenka.
I would lunch bet that.
Okay, we're at 66.
Yeah, I would lunch bet that.
I will bet it was Varenka that won.
Okay.
I thought I remember like Graham Motion saying I can't win for losing, or I thought Graham joked about it or something.
We can lunch bet that for one.
66. Okay.
We can look
Someone
that
will
up.
text me. Steve will text me or something. Let's see. I'm getting some texts.
Yeah, I mean, just, she's more accomplished in Counter Risk Party. Now, I would think there's more blue sky for Counter Risk Party.
Yeah, that's my feeling.
Counterparty Risk.
And I know,
better not do that. I better not do that upstairs later. Counterparty Risk.
No, it's Canterbury Risk.
It's Canterbury Risk,
Canterbury
right?
Risk. Yeah. She's got several names. If you listen to the both.
That's what I
races
just
she's in.
did. I
She
called
had
a
many
Counter
names.
Risk Party.
We'll take a look at Canterbury Risk in the, and I'm sure some people know what we're joking about. This is when, in fact, she was Canterbury Risk for this race. You can't get a better trip than she did.
No, you cannot.
On the other hand, she was in probably the toughest grade straight non-grade one will run all year, and I thought she was really buried on the rail last time, and it really affected her. Listen, obviously, she
got the Delaware treatment
last time. She's going to have to improve, and if both the 5 and the 7 run their better races, they'll both beat her. But I thought she had most room to improve, and
That was
this.
a great pick yesterday, by the way.
Which, Delaware? Oh,
I chased that horse all winter long.
Well, that's just, to be fair, that's something, as you know, I do a lot. I didn't think he was the likeliest winner, but I knew that he was better than his odds, and he had excuses, and they missed
you have the right opinion,
It's not, I pick a lot of horses like that, and,
Horse paid $22, Andy.
Was it a better pick than the David Donk horse that got beat ahead at 13-1?
How about the 2 days in a row with the maidens? The one maiden that kind of ran off in the last race on Thursday or Friday on the turf. The one horse, she was open 3, and she kind of ran off into the first turn. She was kind of ranked the whole way on the front end. Maiden claimer. I can't remember her name. She ran well, and then that horse
Let's
ran
look at
lights out
Call Me
yesterday.
Love, so we don't run out of time today.
Okay.
This is the Boston Spa. I had to do a double take because I forgot that we ran the Boston Spa over in the meet. I watched this race with Christophe Clement, and I said to him that I was really proud. I thought she ran really well, and he yelled at me and said, "She almost won." He was mad.
This is the race he
little
lost at
sensitive.
Saratoga last year.
This is
Right
the
here,
race.
this is it. This is
Joel
history.
Rosario and Christophe Clement won 31 races together. They went 31 for 32.
This is the one.
was the loser.
Yep, this is the one.
Incredible.
I'm going to tell you
Greatest
something.
twosome meet I've ever seen.
That was amazing, isn't it? That was amazing. I think you worry about these numbers a little bit. I'm going to tell you what I worry about more. I made a huge bet on this horse in the Athenia, and she did not run 2 steps. She didn't run 2 steps. And now she's gone for almost 6 months. Certainly looked like a kind of horse that could have went down to Florida. I don't like the layoff.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the layoff. She's pretty good, though.
She is. She's running against better horses.
In
but
a lot of ways, she's arguably the horse to beat in here. She really
she
is.
hasn't won here so far for Christophe, and she ran a few times.
She also lost to Rushing Fall.
She did.
won a mile
I
and
get
quarter
the whole
against Mean
thing.
Mary.
I get the whole thing, but she didn't run 2 steps last time. Now we don't see her for 5.5 months.
No, I agree.
I want to see one off the break.
I agree. No, I agree, but I'm not. We'll see. See what happens. Race number 5. We will take a break after race number 5. So it's funny. I want to show the replay of the 4, even though you don't have her in your top 4, and I picked her 4th. Because Richie Migliore, I hope Richie's watching the show because Richie will remember this one.
We've talked about this numerous times.
Declan Carroll's agent at the time.
Yes, we did.
And this was a frustrating beat, and that was a segue. Francisco fall asleep or something? I heard a little snoring, I think. It was a little snoring back there. this was some beat. She never lost, but how do you take her off that layoff?
I called this race. Richie and I have talked about it numerous times. I gave her the big call, too. I thought she was home Jerome. And now we don't see her for 16 months. She's in for the waiver, which is obviously, I mean, makes a lot of sense if you're putting all this time into where you don't want to lose her first off back.
I guess. I don't know. I know what you're saying. But how about these horses that, there was a horse the other day that was, they got avoided claim before the layoff, and then they came back and they did it. And then how many times do you see these horses run for the waiver and then they run cheaper the next time? And even if she wins, where are they going next with her? So I hear what you're saying, but I think that's another racetrack thing where people just do it. Well, I put so much time in them. It's kind of like that argument when somebody has a bad boyfriend or girlfriend. They say, I can't break up. I've already, given up 6 years of my life with them, as opposed to just moving on the rest of your life. It's like...
Well, that's like continuation. That's like,
do they really ask themselves, do I want to lose this horse?
That's like being pot committed in poker, right? And putting money in when you know you beat. Like, that's one of the craziest things. I know.
I understand what you're saying, and I think that's why they do it, but I don't necessarily agree. Having this race, who did you pick in here? I went to
Obladi, coming up from Tampa. I love those Tampa shippers.
Obladi. Oblad. It's not really is it?
Isn't it the song Obladi?
Is it? Is that spelled O-B?
Obladi.
Yeah, I know. It's a Beatles song. It's on the White Album.
Yeah.
You want to sing it? I don't want to get in the way.
I'm not going to sing it.
You want to make your Talking Horses singing debut?
My man, I've sung
what
plenty
do you
of
like
times
about this horse?
Talking Horses. Shipping Up, ran against Open, Shipping Up. Derek Ryan's horse, Go-Go Shoes, came up. She was ready to roll the other day.
What does that have to do with this horse?
Listen, the horses are coming up from down there. Yeah, okay. Well, the horses are coming up from down there. I think fit. They're coming off that deep racetrack. You hear that a lot, but it's not that it's not true. She showed some speed in her debut. I don't think she'll be too far from her from Kendrick today. And she'll be a little bit of a price against some horses.
What do you think of the race she comes out of?
It's awful.
Okay, there's something specific if you looked it up, which you didn't.
I didn't look it up.
The first three finishers, well, then you don't know if it's awful. The first three finishers were all first-time starters. I don't know. I'm skeptical of that race overall. I hear you. I have the horse third. Should be stalking outside the other speeds in this race.
Kind of hard to see some of these others in here.
Well, I don't know.
We haven't seen Raffinity.
What's wrong? But Raffinity ran against real horses first time, took a little bit of money, took a little hop after the break, kind of got shuffled back a little bit, Raffinity, after the start. And,
took a little money in a race that had a couple of horses.
Yeah, Raffinity is clearly a dangerous horse. Well, you've got her second in there. Is Belle Dominica's trained? Oh, it's Rudy. Okay, so you had to have him in there. By the way, why would you have that one in there? Shouldn't you have Bella Principessa, the other Bella? She had a real trip. She came in badly at the start and kind of stayed back 5 to 6 lengths last time.
Apparently the blinkers were not on last time. And the blinkers are on today.
Another Rudy blinker thing. We have a million of those. I thought Bella Principessa of any of them was the one you might want of the two Rudys. I picked the 3 Sweet Larissa, who did not take a nickel in her debut, and that was a weird race where there were some horses that closed effectively in there. But at the end of the day, she actually was running because she had an excuse. She jumped up at the start and was a length plus slow, but she was way back. And she made a real 4 to 8 wide run in this race to be somewhat effective. And I thought she actually did a little running for Mark Hennig. The big rider switch to Junior Alvarado as well. I thought that Sweet Larissa was an interesting horse in this race.
Yeah, I'll be using her. Yeah, she'll be on my tickets. She's interesting enough.
Take a break. We'll be right back after a quick break.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses, the Big A.
You want to tell them that I refused you a hug?
He did. He just flat out, he told me Daria's Angel was
Daria's Angel is now out of the 20th
out of the
race.
fourth, and I told him I needed a hug, and he just flat out refused me.
No. That's what he got. No. You're out, Tom.
I thought you were my friend. The biggest upset of 2021, Anthony Stabile picked Tiergan in race number 6. We'll show the last race. Well, I mean, you were loyal to him last time, and he ran huge, no doubt about it. I'm going to tell you something. You're right. If he runs this race last time, and he ran very well in here, he really did. He was on the pace. The winner stalked and made the big move. He probably ran the best race of anybody last time. I don't trust him. But if he runs his last race, he's going to win.
I'm going to say this. I feel like he ran the same figure, but he improved last time because he was helped by the bias 2 starts back. So now 2 starts in a row, improvement for Rudy. Yeah, if he runs his last race, I just think he's going to get the money.
He can't lose if he runs his last race.
Yeah.
I mean, if he runs his last race, it'll be a miracle if somebody beats him. I don't disagree. I don't agree with David's line. See, I don't think Too Early is going to be that close to him because he got buried in last time. He's got him 5-2 in this or 7-5.
You might be right.
I almost wonder if, I mean, I don't know where else you go in here, though you've obviously found a place. Did I put up the trainer stat for the Storms of Bruin?
No. Oh, I don't know.
I did not.
I don't remember
Linda
hearing you
Rice
discuss it, though.
Is okay. She has good numbers off her. How's this be a terrible field? Wasn't that day got really windy and nobody could close? This versus the last time was the time worse. I don't like the 7 at all. She's a bitch. Well, he's a big price.
Well, it was first time Linda last time. And I'm not saying, I know she took the horse from Charlie Baker.
She's great stretching out off the claim. She's not as good off of wins, second off the claim.
I thought this horse's form just overall was better going long. And, you know, just a couple of faster horses in here early. Too early, you would imagine. 3 jokers with the blinkers on coming off the layoff.
No, the 7's the speed.
No, you think the 7's going to get in front of 3 jokers today?
We'll see.
Off the layoff with the blinkers?
Depends who's more aggressive, Kendrick or Jose Ortiz.
Oh.
If you think 3 jokers is going to be in front of the 7 has no chance.
Well, I don't know that the 7 can't rate. Just going long. He's been on the lead in all of his races going long, but I don't know that he can't rate.
I gotcha.
And maybe you're right. Maybe Kendrick just goes to the top. It worked last time.
There's no chance if he doesn't get the lead, and he has very little chance if he does. But in my opinion, Too Early was a short price last time, and he did not run well. He was also between horses dueling the whole way, and now he gets more speed to stalk at. He does have races fast enough to win this, and today is going to be a better day to bet him than to bet Tiergan. That's basically where I went with there. I didn't think anybody else could win this race realistically, so I thought one of them would win. I figured I'd pick the bigger price, not a particularly strong.
And I do agree with you. I think he'll be a little bit of a bigger price. I think there'll be a little bit more room between him and Tiergan.
I am going to show the replay of Brunate.
That's what I call him.
I was stunned that David picked this horse. I have to admit, I didn't read his logic.
Today?
Yeah. I think this is the phoniest of phony races run this year.
See, I didn't know what to do. I put him 4th today because I didn't know what to do with him. This race, you would have imagined this race was so much better than anything else he's run. The truth of the matter is, it was a sloppy track back at Saratoga last year. He put up that 65 figure behind Royal Suspect, and I know this race was considerably better, but it's not as much better.
Okay.
And now he gets the wet track. He ran really well last time, second off the 3 months.
Loyal Kaz second came back and ran 15 buyer points worse. What's in it for me? Came back and ran 14 buyer points worse. I don't buy it. I don't like this horse
that's fine. And that's fine. That's fine. This is another one of those races where I feel like
it's gonna be short.
I don't know what listen. We say it all the time.
71 buyer in this field. I don't think he's going to be 92.
Make line. You want to make a line for this race?
Well,
not me. I don't make a line for any race. This one's at the very top of that list that I don't want to make a line for. This race was impossible. I'm embarrassed that I wound up on the favorite, but I just think at the end of the day, he's the best horse.
The 11.
Yeah. He's getting to playwright territory where I want nothing to do with him anymore.
His last race was awful. Yeah, there you go. There you have it. No question he can win. I got him second. I'm not throwing out the big S.
But I'm ready to send the divorce papers in.
I thought for sure you'd pick somebody against him. What happened there? Oh, Carl Broberg. There you go. Well, he's over 10 actually now, but he did have a narrow second the other day, right? Or did he win the other day off the claim? He ran second, right?
I think he ran second. Yeah, I had a very, very tough time with this race. When I have Macho Boy third, I have a tough time with this race.
I think you badly missed a horse in this race, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't know how you missed.
Yeah, my boy Spitball.
I don't know how you missed Spitball in this race. Let's start taking his form apart. He was engaged in the fast pace that essentially collapsed last time out, trying to go a mile. The time before that, he was wide against a gold rail. Those were the 2 races for Linda Rice. Obviously, something went wrong 3 back. How is his race, Mr. I like muddy track horses, 4 races back?
Fantastic.
Right. I'm not saying he's going to win here. I'm shocked. I was shocked. This was a horse I picked, and I thought, oh, Anthony's probably going to pick this horse. I'm shocked you didn't pick.
I don't love the drop. I know it's not that. I mean,
why?
Well,
where's she supposed to run him?
Well, you just made a great case that this horse. I mean, why isn't he back for the quarter?
Let somebody claim him. She can move
Yeah,
on.
I
don't
guess.
think Linda's going to mind her. This horse gets claimed, she wins. I wouldn't worry about the drop. That's a post. That's a post. I didn't pick him selection. I mean,
No.
You've got Linda's other horse second. Please tell me which race Blue City has ever run that's competitive here.
I have.
Please. You have the throw. You have the.
I have.
Please tell me what race this horse has ever run that's competitive.
I had a tough time with this race.
How was this horse a sloppy track race, by the way?
It was going a mile, and it was the only time he went a mile.
It was atrocious.
I actually think this horse is going to run okay on a wet track.
Okay, can I bet you the 9 beats the 2? They're the exact same price.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's nobody.
You gave me the lunch. You gave me the lunch for the Regal Glory thing. So
I don't think so. I think that Varenka won.
I would have liked to have bet 667
I think
lunches.
Varenka won.
Okay.
You're probably right because you're pretty. Nobody's telling me.
I know I'm right.
Who won that photo? Well, we know Chad's not watching because he's wanting to know if I know if the casino food's open.
That's
By the way, it was.
That's why I know I'm right.
What? He's not watching.
No, but that's why I know I'm right.
Because he was complaining?
Complaining's a strong word, Andy. Remember the freshman? Scam's an ugly word.
You might be right that I think he may have done it in the winter. I think he may have joked about it now that you say it. Well, it was such a miserable day, right? That was that crazy storm that moved in for the Alabama.
I was on
Alabama?
I was on HRRN for the Alabama. We did not cover the Alabama that year.
Did we delay it?
We didn't. We may have delayed, but I was asked to leave. I was just to leave the broadcast spot because there was lightning in the area, and we never went back on there.
You were asked to leave that spot, and yet somebody else with insane behavior in there one day was not asked to leave.
Asked to remove myself from my place of residence. That request did not come from my wife. It came from Naira Security. They cleared the apron. Had to pack the equipment up and go.
I tried in race. We switched to race number 8. I tried to get away from picking the same horse as you in there, but they scratched the 8. I did win 17 lunches from somebody that David would pick the 8 batter swing. He loves that horse. He's not wrong. This is just too tough a field probably for him anyway, but regardless. I picked him though. I switched because we both had the 6. So what, my friend, do you like about Papa Czar?
I just like listen, a guy like Carl Broberg wins races because when he realizes maybe he hasn't made the greatest
He's our
claim.
arch enemy, Carl
Broberg.
Well,
yeah, I don't know where you are, buddy. Keep telling me on Twitter you're coming. So's Christmas, December 25th. Maybe you'll be here before then. He's supposed to get some pace to run out in here. He's dropping in to a spot where he fits. He fits with these horses. I don't think he fit for 40. I don't think he fit last time. He fits. He fits. I mean, there's nothing else to really say.
This might have been a good race. And by the way, I'm going to break some very bad news for you. You may want a hug, and I'm not giving you one. Tampa Bay Club canceled today. I just figured it was.
You know, that has implications on me today.
What?
WrestleMania's tonight. They had to delay WrestleMania 40 minutes because of lightning last night. It's 2 nights. And now it's at Raymond James Stadium. That's not a good sign. We have big plans tonight. The Fiend, we got big plans tonight. You guys should be talking on this about Fox Sports too. Friday night SmackDown's on Fox, and the replay comes on Fox. I usually see the replay on Fox Sports too.
You really missed your calling as a professional wrestler, don't you think? What would your wrestling name be?
I don't know what my wrestling name would be, but I would have been a good pro wrestler.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I would have been. I would have cut good promos.
I was watching that Andre the Giant feature the other day.
Fantastic.
It was on Showtime.
I would have cut really good promos. And that's like 80% of it now. Because I would have been marketed as a big guy, obviously. I'm not going to start doing Hurricane Rounds from the top rope.
Big guys.
Right, but no, you'd be on 205.
I would be the guy running.
You'd be my manager.
They call me the running man.
You'd be my manager. Well, you'd be like Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart with the megaphone. Without the megaphone, you'd have.
You make a great point.
You'd have a racing. You'd be waving a racing format, guys.
Okay, as far as Papa Czar in here, obviously he was over his head last time out. And he did chase 3 wide last time, but I thought the track was fair. The time before that, it was a huge speed track. He couldn't get into it. He does have that fast fig. If he could obviously find that Happy Farm race, which is starting to look like an aberrant race. Mm-hmm. The thing, I'll be honest with you, I did kind of an Anthony Stabile in here. We'll start with the caretaker. We'll look at his race 2 back. No doubt the good caretaker's the horse to beat in this race. I don't disagree. And I can't like the 6 and say that he can't win because they're both coming from the clouds.
Yep.
So I can't, but He never wins.
He stopped winning.
He just doesn't win.
You got the voided claim on the card. That's the second voided claim in 6 months on the
This
card.
is the one. No, this is not the one. The voided claim, he's running for 20.
No.
Right, yes. This is not. There's one.
Second one on the card in 6 months. No bueno for me.
I can't trust this horse. Could he win? Absolutely.
Absolutely
But I'm
can
not
win.
picking him on top.
Nope.
Kosciuszko, I tried him last time. He did blow the brake, but I give up. Arc in the Dark. Okay, Arc in the Dark, not impossible. I don't really like picking these Parks horses. The trainer is 1 for 19. Shipping to New York, 1 for 15 in the dirt with 59-cent ROI, and 5 or 6 of them were short prices. They have underperformed, so I can't take him. Full Salute's been off a year. He's supposed to be in front. I can't take the 7. Last time was the time for him. You didn't have him in the top 4 last time. Today you have him second.
Here's why I have him second today.
We can win.
But
At
we
least he's in good form.
just talked about how you don't really want a lot of them. The 2 horses that are most logical are going to come from the clouds, and the only of the speed he has to deal with hasn't run in over a year.
Yeah.
If he doesn't break, David's Gem's gone.
And if he doesn't break, Full Salute's gone.
Yes,
Well,
but
you're making that.
But hold on a minute. Do you want the horse that's been gone a year, or do you want the horse that's in form?
I don't want David Gem, period, because he's a last time was the time horse against a bad field.
But what do you think he's going to be in here? You don't think he's going to be turned off by Full Salute?
What price was Durkin's call morning line?
Durkin's call was 3 to 1, maybe.
3 to 1.
Yeah.
So he's 9 to 2, 4 to 1 morning line, and I
That
disagree
was
with
6
David's
to
line.
1.
I disagree with David's line
Okay.
because and he's usually right, but I think people are going to see what you see. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but also he's coming off a win in a field where none of them are coming off good races. So I have trouble seeing him above 7 to 2.
I think wow. Oh, I would like to bet that. I would like to bet that.
Okay,
I
I
would like
win
to bet that.
990?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No question. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because they
Who's
got to
gonna
bet
get
the
bet here?
1-4, and I think Papazar will be shorter than him.
I don't.
Okay.
Okay, 7.
Off the drop?
I have 890 or below. No, 990.
990 or below.
Yeah, 1 lunch.
I'll give it to you.
We got a lot of lunch action today. I don't have a strong opinion on that. You may be right.
I think Papazar will be shorter than him.
Yeah,
And that's where the bet will be won or
with
lost.
the 2 idiots up here picking him, he should be 30 to 1. I'm going to say the most embarrassing selection made on Talking Horses, and there have been quite a few, some by me, many by him, is you picking Tiny Magoo in this race. Maggie's in Arkansas, okay? You don't have to suck up to her. Is Tom Morley having dinner at the house? How could you pick this horse in a tougher field?
He's not here. That's not Tom anymore. It's Atch, first-time actress.
It's claimed by Atris.
That's the reason I picked the horse.
I missed that.
Yeah, I
still
don't
don't
like
like 'em.
this. I don't need these. I mean, a lot of these horses in here.
So really, you're picking on Tom.
No, I'm not picking on Tom.
No, you are. Just
no,
admit
it's
it, man
listen.
up.
You can.
Admit it.
You
Tom,
can.
he picked the horse
you
because it was claimed from you. Just,
listen.
I'm
You
gonna say it,
can.
'cause
Can I be honest with
he's
you?
not man enough to say it.
It would have been regardless who he claimed this horse from last time. Rob's been so potent first off the claim.
He hasn't been a little quiet lately.
He hasn't run many lately.
Yeah, I hear you. He was so bad last time. Maybe
He was awful last
I
time.
don't-
2 to 5, didn't run 2 steps.
I don't want him.
Okay.
Big Tony's girl. I don't know exactly what Eric Cancel was doing on this horse last time. It wasn't riding. I don't think you call it riding.
It wasn't
I don't know what.
riding.
Watch the replay.
That's the line of the weekend.
Watch the replay.
No, I remember the race.
How's it possible that this horse got the? It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't know what was going on.
Yep, I don't
He
know
lost
either.
all position whatsoever with this
Every
horse. It
ounce.
was absurd. Gets Jose Ortiz today. He's been against the track in a few races. I've picked him, but he has been against the track a few times, and I had to take him in here. Who else did I have in the mix? Oh, you got him second. What about
Yeah,
Happy
of course.
Hill Lil? The
Happy
Gary
Hill
Gullo,
Lil,
you know
yeah.
me. I see Gary Gullo's names in the
You
people.
just
I get
go.
all misty-eyed and had to pick the horse.
Haven't
This
seen
horse
this horse for a while,
This
but
horse has races that are fast enough to win this race.
yeah, I just worried that we haven't seen her for a while.
No, you're
and
picking on Siaka. Admit it.
I am not picked Siaka. I think
What happened to
David
Chili
Gem's. I think
Chews?
David Gem's going to run big today.
That's
Siaka. What's
that was
going
Chad's-
on with
isn't
you?
that Chad Summers?
No, it's first off the Siaka claim. What are you doing today?
Oh, I even have it circled.
Would you lose it last night? Well, this work was done Tuesday. The entries weren't. The form wasn't even out. Oh, you losing it?
Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursday, whatever.
Long before you even.
Long before I looked at it. I can tell you that. I'm a busy man, Andy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not. I'm wondering about Chili Chews a little bit. I mean, maybe Chili Chews just can't put 2 feet in front of the others. There was a time that Chili Chews would be favored in this race.
Those
But
last
two races
those
are
last
atrocious,
two.
but I threw it in. There were so many horses in there I didn't want, Anth, that I just,
I
You saw
got you.
Starship in the name of a horse, and you said that horse has to be.
That's
my pick.
me, yeah.
You love that. Were you like a big Jefferson Starship fan?
Steve Dwoskin. Those were all the Steve Dwoskin horses in Florida.
I remember, yeah. I spent more time on track in Florida than you did.
You sure did.
The most
I don't know if I'd be proud of that.
valuable things that I bought when I first went to Gulfstream in '94 for the meet was Jim Mazur's book, the trainer stuff. It's great.
Jim's great.
It's a great way, especially back then, for somebody I'd never really looked at Florida that extensively, to familiarize yourself with trainers and to look at their stuff.
Jim usually joins me at Mohegan Sun for the Breeders' Cup for our parties. Jim's the co-host up there.
I think he went to Duke with Steve Dunker, I want to say.
Maybe.
I think he might have, yeah.
I know he bike rides with our man Ron Nicoletti every day.
Does he?
Yeah.
Really? All these biking horse
Down in
players,
South
like
Florida.
Beyer.
Yeah. Where's time to bike? I would if I had more time, but I'm a busy guy.
You don't bike a lot?
I cannot ride a bike.
Seriously?
Cannot ride a bike. Every time my dad tried to teach me to ride a bike, I wanted to play baseball, come here. Played baseball. When I was a kid, I was a really good baseball
I lived on my bike as a kid. I didn't learn to drive till I was in my early 30s.
My dad drove us. Steve Davis's mom, Serena, may she rest in peace, and Joey Costa's father, Joe, would drive us around. They rode bikes, but we weren't a big bike society in Howard Beach. At least my cronies weren't.
Well, there's a difference between going up in Howard Beach and in Saratoga.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Anyhow, I always take my dad's old bike when I get to Saratoga. That's my
I've
mode of
seen you on your bike.
transportation. I like to ride. I drive pretty much just to my mom's house.
I
or
want
Sean's
to
house.
ride my bicycle.
All right, he's starting to sing.
Bike.
That means we're done. That's the sign. You know, it's interesting. When we're done, we're going to throw it to Anthony Stabile for a reprise of the scratches and changes.
Yes, sir.
Use the promo code MATCH200. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. If you're betting it on Performer, you're going to have to go to Claiborne Farm to see the races. What else we got? 50, 50, 50, 50,
we know he's not in stall one. That's Run Happy stall.
You know who's excited? By the way, Run Happy had the best 3-year-old that ran in America
Sure did.
yesterday. That following sea is a runner.
Yes, he is.
And I'll tell you what, the horse who ran second is another Run Happy.
He was
That horse is
fine.
a runner. That
Yep.
horse is one of the unluckiest maidens in the
Looks
game.
like the second horse will sprint. The first horse might want to
You
go a
know
little
who's
longer.
really excited about this Francisco? He tried to show it yesterday.
Oh, that's right. He was all
tried
fired
put
up for
on
this
every
yesterday.
day. Yeah, he was really worked up. App and app only, 50 or more at each
You think
track.
Francisco plays win, or you think he's more of a gimmicks guy? Tricks. Think he plays the tricks
It's a
more?
good question. It's a very good question.
Do you
I think he's whole playing.
Francisco knows
Also,
what tricks mean?
America's Day at the Races, 1 to 6:30, all day on FS2.
The Deuce.
We apologize for not being a slate, but that was a late change.
FS Deuce.
FS2.
You gonna watch WrestleMania? You gonna watch WrestleMania tonight?
No, I'm not. Actually,
Come
matter of
on.
fact. I'm not going to watch WrestleMania tonight.
Very excited for tonight.
I can see.
I'm very excited.
Should I start calling you every 5 minutes during it? What time does it start?
I'll be at the cigar shop. I won't be. The phone will
Blowing up
be.
your phone?
The phone will be on ignore.
Claude's back. You know what that means.
Claude heard WrestleMania and Claude came
Time
in.
to go.
Claude's
We're
ready.
done. It's been fun. We will be back for a final week of Aqueduct racing starting next Thursday.
Pour a little out.
You can hear my dulcet tones if you turn on FS2.
You'll hear
If you
mine
wanna
on
hear this
FS2 also.
Nitwit, you can watch it anywhere and everywhere the races are on. So you can't get away from us. Everybody have a great day. And Anthony Stabile up next to reprise the scratches and changes.
See you in 5.